Well, hello everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to Hinterland, where the grass is green, the sky is blue, and I got nothing. So we are back here in August, still working on our harvesting. We got, I think, 2 fields, if I'm not mistaken. We harvested this field here. We're going to be harvesting this field, and we've got this biggin. I think the largest. Is it safe to say the largest field on the map? I would say so. This one down here. Is that wheat? That is wheat. Oh boy. It's going to be a lot of wheat. But look at what's in front of us. The return of the Quick-Quickbaler. I have grown to love this thing immensely. As you can see this time, I have decked it out in matching Deutz matte green to match our tractor, my beloved Deutz Far Warrior. Love this tractor. I may actually use this tractor in every possible situation I can. It is just such a bad looking tractor, man. And by bad, I mean good, as the kids would say. But I've got the Quick-Quickbaler, this time in the matte green body with the matchy gray rims, sporting BKTs. I don't think it gets better than that. Now, Tin Man, I know you mentioned I need to see it in action with the wrapping. We will definitely have to do that. Unfortunately, we're just going to be doing more straw. So we're not going to see the wrappy today, but it is still so much fun to use. If you all haven't had a chance to use this thing, it is cross-platform. It's amazing. And this Deutz Warrior, is this the FarmCon? Yeah, it is. Okay, that's right, because they went to the Deutz factory, I believe. I've got a friend at work, a German friend at work. I've talked about him before, I believe. I was discussing with him the Deutz Far brand, how it was perceived in the motherland of Germany. He said, indeed, it is obviously a very popular tractor. I'm about 99% sure it's an AGCO product. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. I did forget to look. But I'm pretty sure it's AGCO. Thus, I went with the AGCO branding on the baler. Hopefully, I'm not completely mistaken on that. We're going to get our friend, the Combine here, rolling on the course play. As you can see, I'm just having a nice fun trip around our field. I thought it left off over here. Apparently I was sadly mistaken. You've got to be kidding me, Brad. It probably left off almost, yeah, okay. Well, you know, a nice drive around the field. A nice drive around the field never hurts, I guess. Is this where we left off? No. This is where, that's right. Here we go. We've got it. We're getting it. Ooh, look at this. I might pick you up. Oh, I still haven't fixed my brakes. I need to fix my brakes. But I'll have to try and remember to do that. I'll have to try and remember to do that after I'm done recording this episode. Oh, goodness. What a beautiful day it was here in my neck of the woods. The heat has dissipated a bit, and we ended up with quite a beautiful day, I must say. I'm going to go ahead and just get this thing kicked off. And we should be good to go. We've got our trailers over there that it can do some self-dumping. Yeah, buddy. All right, let's go over to our Deutz friend, and let's do a little quick baling. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get it. Oh, wait. Are we at 180? We're at 180. Beauty. I love that. I miss that. Canadians. I think that's a pretty popular thing in Canada to say beauty. I seem to remember that when I lived in Canada many years ago. But I've also heard it recently on, I hear it quite a bit actually on Mike Mitchell, the Farmer's channel. It's so hard to know if it's working because I'm just not expecting. Yeah, it's working. This thing cracks me up. Absolutely fantastic. So hey, let's talk a little bit about this mod that came out today. Monday. You're watching this Tuesday, most likely. Or maybe you're not, but it came out today, Monday. And I forgot to look if it was cross-platform. I think it is. Boy, I think it might be PC only. Here we go. Oh, that's my favorite. Oh, getting a little off course. And that's the other thing great about this baler is you can be as bad a driver as I am, and it has such a wide pickup area that you can be, like I said, a nasty little driver like I am and not miss. Like I can drive on the side of the windrow. So beautiful. So anyways, what's going on with this mod? This mod that is the camera mod. Man, those jumps are fantastic. Basically what the mod is intended to do, at least initially, it is like some other mods we see of similar nature, I will say. It's gonna work with some base game stuff. I actually didn't turn the mod on. I should have, because maybe our little doits here would take advantage of it. Oh, those jumps are classic. It's a camera mod, right? And it's intended to add cameras to some base game equipment. Not all base game equipment, like tractors, combines, but some. I think it costs $1,000 in the shop. It's something that you have to buy while you're in the shop, much like the GPS mod. I think that's like 15 grand to add that on. Here we go. Yeah, get some. All right, now I'm just getting silly. All right, so for $1,000, you can add it on to the base game or to your tractor, maybe your combine if it supports it. I think some of the potato harvesters, sugar beet harvesters, stuff like that. And it's going to add cameras that you might already be familiar with in the game. There's equipment in the game already, modded equipment normally. Actually, only modded equipment at this point. That have a variety of different cameras. As an example, if you watch my Throwback Thursday series, we're on Hagenstedt. The Schluter tractor on Hagenstedt has a butt camera. I call it the butt camera. It's the backwards facing camera. All right. Oh, we could double this up, I think. Yeah. Now, the reason I'm bringing this mod up, I kind of want your opinion. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I kind of want your opinion on this, but for me personally, now, I could just say, you know what? It's great to see new innovation come to the game. And of course, and I mean that, it is always great to see new innovation come to the game. It's great when we have modders that add things that the base game doesn't have, and that's always great to see. I would hate to see that stop. Sorry about that, guys. For me, though, this mod, as nifty as it might be, it's just not for me. It's not for me. I honestly think that even if I installed it and activated it and bought the cameras and bought the camera extension for my equipment that supported it, I just don't think I'd ever use it. I like the way that it's implemented actually a little bit more. I do like it. I like the way that it's implemented more than the way that the butt camera has been implemented on the Schluter tractor that's on Hagenstedt. Because it's an altogether separate key binding, these extra cameras. So if you are used to just going inside out, like this kind of a thing, just switching between inside and out, that's not affected. That's still the same. It's left alone. You actually have to use a separate key binding to control these extra cameras. I do like that. I think that's good, because that's the one thing about the Schluter camera that bothers me, or that kind of bugs me, is I don't want to have to scroll through cameras that I quite frankly am not using. Now, let's say that every once in a while I want to use the butt camera. Fine and dandy. That's great. Maybe you're somebody who would like to use the butt camera. But you're not going to use it all the time. You're not going to use it every time you go between inside and outside view, if you catch my drift. And you've got to toe kind of a fine line in the forums and with comments on YouTube, because if you say anything that sounds even remotely negative sometimes about a mod, you get attacked by some people. There are people out there that just, I guess, maybe aren't from a free country where they're used to being able to say what they want. And maybe that's why it offends them that you talk freely. To me, if I am leaving a comment about this particular mod, and I'm just using this mod as an example, this camera mod, if I left a comment similar to what I'm saying here, which is, you know what, really love to see the innovation, really love to see stuff added to the game, just not something I would use, but thanks. I feel like it's a little gimmicky, just not something I see a lot of use for. And I know it's got this pipe camera, but you know what? I've had mods, I've had combines that have had pipe cameras. I don't use them. Now, I know that there might be people out there that do, and that's great. That's fantastic. In no way am I suggesting that if I don't use it, nobody else should be able to use it. But that's kind of how sometimes it's taken in the forums. So I've kind of learned my lesson. Unless I really feel like unless somebody else takes the plunge first and says what I'm thinking, and I simply agree with them, I tend to keep my comments short and sweet, which is the general positivity side of what people would view as positivity. Even though I have no negative thoughts or feelings towards this mod or the modder, I have nothing but, quite frankly, gratefulness and admiration. I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have made this mod. I don't have the knowledge to make a mod like that. And I've said, like I've said before, I appreciate every mod that is on the Giants Mod Hub, because I know that modder spent their time and effort to do it. Even if it's something I personally either am not going to use or don't want to use, it still adds to the game for somebody. But then I got to thinking, well, okay, Mr. Man, what would you like to see? What innovations would you like to see come to Farming Simulator? Things that either I really feel strongly about that I would use, or things that I would feel really strongly about belong in the game, even if I wouldn't use them a lot or whatever, you know. And I got to tell you, some of the things that I think about, some of the innovations I think about are there with mods. Like it still baffles my mind that we haven't gotten GPS built into the game. I still have yet to understand why that hasn't happened, other than, and I know that this is going to be really, I don't know what word I'm looking for, maybe a little facetious, I don't know if that's the right word on my part, but other than the fact that some people would say, well, why would Giants bother to do that if it's readily available on a mod? Well, because I can tell you why. Because console players don't have it. And I think if I ever switch to a console, I wouldn't be able to switch to a console until I had a GPS, a working GPS system. I care that much about guided steering or GPS. You know what, I'm going to grab, well, I guess I didn't really need to do that. Let's just finish off this little section over here. But I just can't fathom why, especially with as prevalent as GPS is now in farming. I don't know that I watch any farming channels. Well, that's not true. That's not true. I watch a couple of farming channels that don't use guided steering, but they are smaller. They're smaller farms that generally use older equipment. So I would kind of expect them maybe not to use guidance steering, but otherwise it's kind of, for at least reasonably sized farms, I think it's kind of a gimme. And I think it's really kind of a gimme, especially for newer equipment, relatively newer equipment. I've even heard people go as far as to say, how can the game have precision farming without GPS? And I kind of get that. I kind of get their argument there, that I think it would be kind of difficult to really have precision farming without guidance steering. I could be wrong, but that seems like those two go hand in hand pretty good. Pretty good. Sorry, this thing is it's just such a good looking, so good looking. Yeah, I love this setup. You know what? We need to check. How's our combine doing here? Are you going to dump or what you doing, buddy? You're only at 83%. Maybe it's just doing a little tail wagging or something. I don't know. Well, it's following that line. It'd be nice if it would dump while it's over here. Methinks it's not going to. See, that to me would be nice if Courseplay would recognize that that is there, and even though it's not full, go ahead and dump while you're like driving right by your trailer, so that you wouldn't have to come back to it. I don't know why it's doing what it's doing. I think it's going to pick up this point right here is my guess. Anyways, it's working, I guess. Whoa, sorry about that. Yeah, that's my bad. That didn't feel good, getting smacked in the face with a header. But yes, GPS, big time for me. I think it would be... There was a mod, and I don't know what the name of it was. I think it was in FS17, I believe. And it may have been 15, but it was really cool. If I remember it correctly, it allowed you to bring up a PDA. I think it almost looked like a handheld tablet that gave you a breakdown of your animal's feed. And I think if I remember correctly, it also had cameras that you could view the automated feeder, because I think it was part of it, like an automated feeder system that we do have in the game, base game now, that kind of, you know, if you buy the large cow barn, that comes with that automatic feeder and stuff. I remember that, and I thought that was really cool. But I bring that up because I think it would be nice if these things here, these interior screens, PDA screens, or whatever you want to call them, I think it would be kind of cool to see them be a little bit more interactive in the base game. Now, I don't know if Giants is ever going to bring interactive controls into the base game. I've played around a lot with interactive controls. Simple IC. I see that it's now in the Giants mod hub. I think they call it... I forget what it's called in the mod hub. I don't think it's called Simple IC. I think they named it something else. Maybe they just named it interactive controls. Anyways, and I've played around with that system off and on with different tractors and combines and things that support Simple IC. Again, not particularly my style of play. I'm not, I always think that the people that get the most out of that are the ones that play a lot more, maybe realistically, where, you know, they generally want that feeling of opening a door, getting into a tractor, manually starting the tractor, maybe being able to, excuse me, maybe being able to open the hood on a tractor, so that you can, you know, kind of role play. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for more than realism, is role playing part of the game. And again, not something I personally would probably get a great deal of use out of, but I would think that would be a pretty popular base game thing for a lot of people, to have a little bit more hands-on control of certain things. And like these screens, although they do show some things, I think at the very least I'd really like them to be, even if you can't manually control them, it would be pretty slick to be able to look down at your combine screen, for instance, and see real statistics. You know, real statistics of how the header's doing. What's the moisture like? Even if it's kind of made up, it would be super cool to see. Oh man, I am going to have to change out the suspension on this poor Deutz. It's getting a workout today. I just think stuff like that would be super cool. And I think, especially like with precision farming, you could have some really cool information on there that we're not seeing, that just would make it feel so much more interesting to be inside the cab of these vehicles. And a lot of times you see on the screens, you'll see like a make-believe. Are you, what's our Combine doing there? Oh, it's going. I think it's going. Are you going, Mr. Combine? Oh, you're going. Yeah, you are, buddy. Good for you. You'll see make-believes guidance steering patterns even on there. Now, how cool would it be to actually be able to go out to a field and set up guidance steering with your interior GPS thing? Even if it wasn't as comprehensive as a real one, to just be able to set like a starting point, you know, and be able to do something like that with those screens inside your tractor. Now, I know that there's a mod. I think we're done with this field, except for little bits and pieces, which I'm not concerned about overly. What's our bale count? 80? That can't be just for this though, right? Oh yeah, it is just for this, because I just leased this baler. Okay, so we got 80 bales on this field. Yeah, wow. Okay. There is a mod out there that for PC players, maybe for Mac too, where you can download an extension where you can use like your iPad as kind of that kind of thing, where you're going to get, you know, controls over the Combine on your iPad and stuff like that. That's pretty stinking sweet. I have not played with it. My intentions are to set it up and give it a go, and if I do that, I will take you all along. I'll show you all what my experience is with it. But stuff like that, when you see stuff like that come to the game, it's pretty awesome. And I'm continually thinking about this because I'm thinking about the next version of Farm Sim and what does Giants believe? What is their belief in what needs to be added to Farm Sim 25? And part of it too is, you know, and I'm well aware of the fact that Giants has to cater to the masses. Us Farm Sim geeks, I would say, is fair to say, Farm Sim, we're kind of on a little bit different level mindset than your casual farming simulator player. The person that just wants to play Farm Sim to play Farm Sim, which I think is great. But I'm going to say it's fair to say that most of you watching this are the next level. You're the... I watch for new mods every day. Not a day goes by that I don't, you know, look at the new mods that were out. I'm always trying to do something new or find something new. I'm into the you're probably also into like the I would almost say the geeky part of the game, you know, figuring things out and trying to do things differently and stuff like that. Oh man, our combine is hauling. I cranked up the speed working, the field working speed, like for how fast it can go when it turns and stuff. And I had to turn it back down because it was like losing its mind. I just had it cranked up way too high. I'm gonna have to be careful about where I'm dropping these bales, because that's gonna probably cause our little buddy some anguish when it's going to load and unload, if I've got a bunch of bales laying around the field in its way. So maybe I'll hold off a little bit. And it's probably a good time to put the kibosh on this episode. But yeah, I know I rambled on a lot, and maybe it was some of it, if not all of it, was a little incoherent. That's usually the way I can go sometimes. Hopefully you all kind of get the gist of what I'm saying, where, you know, it'd be cool to see some innovations. I would love to see some more innovations come in 25. I honestly don't think, I've kind of given up a little bit on some of the more technical innovations coming to the game by giants. I think they're going to have to be brought to us by modders, just because I think Giants focuses a little bit more on the masses. The mass, I would say, the sales of the game. Increasing the sales of the game. And I think in order to do that, they have to be able to focus on things that general players may be more interested in than what us more intense farm sim players like. So thank goodness for modders. The next step, the next big step, hopefully someday, will be console players will not be limited with script mods, and that's going to be completely up to Microsoft and Sony. And I would bet, well, I better not say that. My best guess is Microsoft will allow scripting mods long before Sony ever will, if Microsoft does decide to do that. So we'll see. You know, we'll see. You never know. Never know what the future's going to bring. But thanks everyone for joining me again here on Hinterland. I really, really, really appreciate it. Again, I always appreciate the new subscribers. All of you existing subscribers are awesome. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. I'd appreciate it. Would love to hear comments, thoughts about what you'd like to see come to the game. Be great to hear back from you. And we'll be back here tomorrow on Hinterland to continue the last days of Hinterland. You all take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.